All right, let's get you breaking news that's coming in on the broadcast, which is a big warning coming in from Army Chief. A direct warning to Pakistan where he says will erase Pakistan from the map. That is Army Chief's big punch to Pakistan and says Operation Sindoor 2.0 will be decisive. Let's get in my colleague Vishnu Som for more on this. But first up, let's listen in to exactly the kind of threat that's come in from the Army Chief. More importantly, the strongest message that's come in for Pakistan. Listen in.
तो ये मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि इस बार भारत देश पूरी तैयारी के साथ है और इस बार वो संयम नहीं रखेगा जो सिंदूर 1.0 में हमने संयम रखा। इस बार हम आगे की कार्रवाई करेंगे और कुछ ऐसी कार्रवाई करेंगे कि हो सकता है पाकिस्तान को सोचना पड़े कि उसे इतिहास में भूगोल में रहना है कि नहीं रहना है। अगर उसे भूगोल में अपनी जगह बनानी है तो उसके लिए उसे जो स्टेट स्पॉन्सर टेररिज्म जिसको हम बोलते हैं, यानी कि उसका देश जो टेररिज्म को स्पॉन्सर कर रहा है उसे रोकना पड़ेगा।
Let's get in Vishnu Som, my colleague, for more on this, senior managing editor of NDTV. Vishnu, very strong words coming in from the Army Chief. Put that in context for us.
I think these are the most strident remarks made by any of the armed forces chiefs since Op Sindoor, with the Army Chief making it clear, going to the extent of saying that if Pakistan wants its place on a map in terms of history, in terms of geography, then it has to stop terrorism. This comes on the day when the Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, made a lot of important remarks. He spoke about how the Indian Air Force has destroyed 10 Pakistani aircraft, including now it appears a Hercules transport aircraft on the ground. He spoke about how the Indian Air Force engaged a Pakistani target out to a range of 300 kilometers. He's also warned about how if there is a shift in terrorists to the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, then the Indian Air Force has the ability of tracking them down and hunting them down as well. So you've got two chiefs today, the Air Force Chief at the traditional Air Force Day press conference, or ahead of the Air Force Day press conference, speaking, making those remarks, and the Army Chief at a post with soldiers of the Indian Army, making the point that, look, Pakistan has to stop this, because if there is Op Sindoor 2, then things could get much worse for Pakistan. So very strong language indeed, language which comes a day after the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, speaking in Bhuj, said that Sir Creek region, if Pakistan was to build up in that region as it appears that they are doing, that's something which is not going to work for Pakistan at all, because the path to several Pakistani cities from India runs through Sir Creek. So in the last 24 hours, very strong remarks from the Defence Minister, the Air Force Chief, but not, and last but not the least by any means, the Army Chief.
Indeed, Vishnu, the sequence of events, you've put that out very clearly for our viewers, the sequence of events on a day when the Air Force Chief has also come out with a very strong word. And Army Chief essentially saying that there will be no restraint this time around, unlike Operation Sindoor earlier. That kind of messaging really is extremely significant, isn't it?
It is significant, and India believes that a fight against Pakistan can take place obviously under the nuclear threshold. India has repeatedly said, the government has repeatedly said, that if there's a repeat of Pahalgam, then Pakistan will be hit once again. We've had a very successful Operation Sindoor from a military standpoint. In terms of the hits that the Indian Air Force was able to achieve on Pakistani air bases, in terms of Pakistani radar installations, in terms of Pakistani aircraft on the air and on the ground and in the air, it's given the forces the confidence to be actually able to target Pakistan in a more resilient fashion. Nobody wants war, and one can only hope that if there is any conflict, it's right-sized. But then right-sizing a conflict, as was the case during Op Sindoor, may not always be possible. So these are bold statements, but statements which need to be placed in context. Ultimately, in as much as we continue to face the threat of terrorism, we need to examine closely the impact of war as well.